Hello, I'm Mike Matthews, the host of the longest-running self-produced daily podcast on planet Earth by a guy named Mike in the land of Ameritopica here at Café Anyway in Podcastro Valley. This is Mike's Daily Podcast, FFF, episode 3161, 3161. Well, you may be hanging out with your loved one and you're watching a TV show and you're streaming, because that's how you watch TV shows these days, and the show ends and all of a sudden the next show starts. My first suggestion to you is on Netflix, you go into settings, there's a way to turn off that instant play of the next program. That's a good thing to do. I haven't figured out how to do that on Amazon Prime yet, which has been causing me all kinds of consternation lately. But what you want to do is turn that off so you don't keep watching and binge watching and watching and watching. But first you do that, and then you find out, you have a serious conversation, and you find the common ground, the middle ground, the place where you can compromise and say, no, we need to go to sleep. We can't be that Portlandia skit with Brownstein and Armisen and dead Armist Fred, and go watching shows until oblivion happens. So here's the thing. A new study has determined the most calming television shows to watch at nighttime. For each popular television show on IMDb, that is the International Movie Database, which the show is on. Can you believe that? Mike's Daily Podcast is on there. I didn't put it there. Someone else did. Thank you very much, IMDb, but you can find Mike's Daily Podcast there. Anxiety experts at Amber Willow examined 6 factors to determine the most relaxing television shows to watch at night. These factors included each television show's content rating, the genre intensity, the average IMDb rating, the average episode runtime, and whether the television show contains any violence, gore, or frightening and intense scenes. We talk about in this podcast Stranger Things and how they might be running into some problems with their next season over such things. But based on these factors, each television show was then awarded a final score out of 100. If a television show contains any graphic violence or other intense scenes, it will receive a lower score in the study. Here's what they found out. It reveals that Bluey is the most relaxing television show to have on at night. Since first airing in 2018, the animated children's television show has accumulated a large fan base. And then last year, it was revealed that Bluey was the most streamed television show of the year, with viewers watching a staggering almost 57 billion minutes of the show. Billion. Due to its short episodes and family-friendly content, Bluey ranks as the best television show to watch before bed. Next is Seinfeld, the beloved comedy series, which first aired in 1989, has been embraced as a familiar favorite by many thanks to the show's easy viewing 20-minute episodes and the comedic genre. Seinfeld is one of the top shows to watch before falling asleep, and it helps too that Costanza says, "Serenity now!" Then Mr. Bean is identified with Rowan Atkinson as the 3rd best television show. I think 2 of the shows at Bluey is British, isn't it? So 2 shows British. As the 3rd best television show to watch before going to sleep. The show's visual comedy and short episodes make Mr. Bean an easy watch before heading to bed. Oh, another British show here. Pride and Prejudice, actually, a movie from 1995. The celebrated series, which stars Jennifer L. and Colin Firth. Oh, it was a series. That's right, a miniseries. Was rated highly in the study for its romantic genre. I watched that on VHS when I was married. My ex-wife and her grandma and I would watch it. It was relaxing. I did want to go to sleep after that and sleep forever. Finally, the U.S. version of The Office is crowned as the 5th best television show. Not the British version. Not Mr. Gervais. No. And Martin Freeman. No. the other version with this Steve Carell. Did you know Steve Carell and Stephen Colbert were both on The Daily Show in the 90s? And they used to have a skit called, they do a segment called Even Steven. And they would get into a big argument. It was the funniest thing. If you can find it on YouTube, one of the funniest skits that ever appeared on Comedy Central and definitely on The Daily Show. But the U.S. version of The Office is crowned the 5th best television show to have on at night. Since the show's first season back in 2005, the American version has developed a dedicated fan base over the years, receiving a 9 out of 10 on IMDb. They have 201 episodes available, and there's plenty of choices when coming to find a episode to watch, a quick episode before bed. It contains no graphic violence or any other intense scenes because it is a comedic genre type show. So there you go. We need to go. Let's go and leave and go into Café Anyway. Oh, that was the most perfect segue I ever did. Let me get the door for you. My name is Mike. Welcome to Café Anyway. It's Café Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 3161, 3161. Hello, I'm Mike Matthews, the host of a show that's called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in podCastro Valley, the last place on earth. And of course, I'm going to have to use the word mirth because that's what's involved with this show, is a lot of that kind of thing. And then Mike starts to sing, but he's almost done singing. That's okay, he's done. And yes, we are
Mike's Daily Podcast
at Café Anyway, somewhere in podCastro Valley, the last place on earth in the land of Meritopica, doing a little
Mike's
simulcast
Daily
broadcast
Podcast
on Twitch, where I have 15 followers now. Twitch.tv/Mike Podcast. Mike Podcast, as in Mike's Daily Podcast. Oh, things are changing in this world, folks, with the streaming, and people are getting all excited. Now, here's what's fascinating about the streaming world. They will release some big movie with big names on Netflix or Amazon Prime, possibly the whatever HBO is calling their streaming service this week, the Paramount Plus, the Disney Plus, basically anything with a plus at the end. And those other guys, the Peacock people, which is NBC. I wonder if young people actually know that is in reference to their mascot that they had for a number of years, NBC. In fact, I remember their slogan being proud as a peacock, which is interesting because I didn't realize I thought they were just pretty much turkeys that had colorful feathers and the cool little antennae sticking out. Loved them. But that's how because they had animated little logos, NBC did, showing their peacock, and it was like a cartoon, and my parents would be watching TV at night when there was no cartoons except for the Flintstones, which was on for a while. But all of a sudden there'd be this logo with the animated peacock.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And I was so transfixed as a kid. What? There are cartoons on at night? Oh, exciting! I'm so thrilled. Maybe that's where they came up with the name for that streaming service, but the podcast picture is not of any sort of animal. Oh, yes, it is. Of an animal named Rocky the Cat. And you can see a picture of him at mikesdailypodcast.com. He is another one of his cute poses. Very photogenic cat, I have to say. And the late great Basil the Boxer would probably be, hey, wait, what the? I'm chasing this thing. I'm chasing it all around. And let's play. But Rocky's pretty playful, so I don't know if they would, in fact, want to play with each other. We can only imagine. So, Netflix has lost marquee talent over its theater skipping policy. What? The final season of Stranger Things shall be released soon on Netflix. And rumors have circulated that the Duffer Brothers, who have created Stranger Things, are signing a major deal with Paramount Skydance. The big budget creators have been put off by Netflix's hardline theatrical release policy. The streamer avoids giving tentpole movies significant windows in cinemas before launching on the platform.
Life grand.
Ain't that grand? It's so grand, all the streaming, all the stuff we can watch. We can be binging on TV for days. Oh, ain't that grand? Not so grand for our bodies that we're turning into potatoes that just sit there all day, a big starchy, and then that's what the aliens want, because they're going to make fries out of us. Producers and directors want their project to be seen on the big screen, is the deal. Now, I don't know exactly how the K-pop thing, isn't that also on Netflix? The Demon Hunters? And that was in the movie theaters and was number one. So, isn't that Netflix? This was a sticking point for the Barbie director, Greta Gerwig. Her Narnia movies for Netflix will play exclusively on IMAX screens for 2 weeks or more before going to streaming on Christmas Day of next year. Netflix may need to reconsider its stance or they might risk losing more marquee talent to studios that will be willing to bet on the box office. And it's fascinating to me that people still go to the box offices to see. Why would you want to go see a movie inside of an office? I'm very confused. What? Oh, the box office.
Random.
That's the thing you go. Do they even have box offices? I'm randomly asking anymore. Don't you just pay for the tickets on your thing and you scan something, you walk in, and you don't have to deal with anybody anymore, right? Am I right? Right? Speaking of which, the new Stranger Things trailer confirms that season 5 is not for kids. As confirmed by a teaser released during the Emmy Awards, Netflix hit series will be rated TV-MA in its final season. And they also say, according to The Streamable, they have been waiting, that the fans have been waiting, fans of Stranger Things, waiting for the 5th season of the series to return for quite a while. Do you know it has been 3 years? What? In the 3 intervening years, quite a lot has happened. It appears that's just as true in the show's universe as well, judging by a new teaser.
Scavenger hunt.
As they have found in their scavenger hunt. In the new teaser released for Stranger Things Season 5 during the primetime Emmys that happened this past weekend. That teaser also revealed something else. The new season of Stranger Things will be its most mature yet, content-wise. Netflix has been slowly ramping up the PR campaign for Stranger Things Season 5, and the Emmy broadcast presented a great opportunity to show off the series to an audience that may not be aware of its return yet. No other Stranger Things season has been rated higher than TV-14. So this will be interesting. Even though there's been plenty of violence in the show's past, I would say so, as we go outside a Café Anyway.
For your entertainment.
What?
The one, the only, Mike Matthews.
That is who I am. I'm Mike Matthews. Okay.
Yo, the mic.
Let me see. Yeah, Sean Astin got eaten. Pretty bad. Eddie got eaten. They both got eaten by monsters. I think one got eaten by bats, another by dogs or something. Yeah, and people dissolved and turned into all kinds of mush. And just the biting and the eating and the blood. Oh, yeah, the Russian thing. That was pretty violent. But let's see. This person from The Streamable says they imagine that climbs to a different level this season. Perhaps the language steps up a bit too. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of cussing. I just hate all the shouting. The kids shout and scream. But, of course, they're not kids anymore. So how's that going to be explained? This writer says, I seriously doubt Stranger Things has seen an infusion of sexual content or nudity in the 5th season, though I suppose the outside possibility exists. Still, that level of violence may turn off some parents, much to the dismay of kids who have followed Stranger Things since its inception over almost 10 years ago now. In the decades since, the young actors who portray the show's main characters have clearly aged, and it appears the show has aged with them. Viewers can stream the first part of Season 5 of Stranger Things beginning 2 to 4 days after my birthday, November 26th. Here in the U.S., when the first 4 episodes will be available, then about a month later on Christmas, the next 3 episodes come out because they're hoping you're staying at home, staying warm by the fire, and binge watching. The series finale will be available to stream on December 31st, helping Netflix to own the 2025 holiday season. Wow. Okay, and that's pretty much all fluff, the rest of this story, as you are hearing. Thank you, David Satin. Nights in White Satin. I'm sure he's had to hear that song his whole life. Letters I've written, never meeting to send. I guess that it will be somewhat exciting to see the end of that. But will it really be the end? And don't they have some kind of parallel universe thing going on that's being acted out on stage somewhere? There's all this other... Okay, so here's a topic that affects us all, but perhaps we're not... don't want to fess up to watching... over. Hey, someone's watching this on the Twitch thing. Excellent. Hello. And if you want to see the video, you can go to mikesdailypodcast.com. You'll see a little thing that says...
Newsbleed section.
Not the Newsbleed section, but it says click here to see the video. And it will take you to my twitch.tv/MikePodcast to watch. The average cost of a traditional funeral in the United States is between $8,000 and $12,000. A figure that doesn't include the cemetery plot usually, or the headstone, or other related expenses. My lovely lady friend, her cousin's husband sadly died earlier this year. And I think it cost something like upwards of $25,000. So, Generation Z, known for beginning to influence an industry steeped in tradition, have come up with some ideas. The highly personalized celebrations.
The Myclopedia Insanicka.
I see in my Insanicka, my Myclopedia Insanicka, that they are doing streaming of the personalized celebrations, plus putting QR codes on headstones that link to online memorials, as well as curated online photo albums. It appears that the online photo albums never disappear, because I know a lot of people who have gotten married that have since gotten divorced, and for some reason their photo albums are still up there from their weddings. So that's something that won't go away. Hey, it's Rocky the Cat. Let me grab him. For all those people watching on the video. Okay, he's like, jerk. Okay. What other expenses are involved? Let's see, the basic services fee covers the funeral home's overhead. And embalming. Embalming's about $800.
Matthew's News.
In my other news here, the basic service fee, once your loved one goes into a funeral home, can cost like $3,000 right off the bat. The viewing room for the wake, that is over $1,000. A casket will cost upwards of $20,000. I think that is where my lovely lady friend's cousin had to spend a lot of money. But a casket can be as inexpensive as $2,000. Cremation without a service, that can be as low as $2,000. So, something to think about. I've gone through it now twice. I've lost both my parents now, so yeah. And neither one wanted to be buried. They wanted to be cremated. And both of them really didn't care anything about anything else. I asked them, they were like, hey, surprise me. So, yeah. I guess it's up to you.
It's a nightmare of a show.
It is a nightmare of a show. I know. Going through that whole thing. Going through a funeral is a nightmare, but it affects us all. It's good to have a conversation to make it less of a nightmare. It will be a nightmare, but just try and bring it a little bit of conversation in. And, you know, when I talked about it with my dad, there was a little bit of humor involved and some jokes, and I'll never forget that. It was actually a very warm memory discussing it with my dad. So possibly you'll have that lucky experience as well with your loved one. But hey, look who's here outside a Café Anyway, somewhere in podCastro Valley, the last place on earth, in the land of Rootabega. Hi, Mark! It's Benita the Rodeo Queen! How you doing? I brought my horse Dilly.
That's a disgruntled fiddle player, tell you what.
What?
Now, I just noticed Rocky the cat got on Nilly and rode away. That really is not something I approve of, tell you what.
What?
That.
Oh,
First
sorry.
of all, I just want to thank everyone for joining us here on this show. This is great.
Yes, thank you for joining us on this show. It is great. Look who else is here.
Oh, Mike, I make delicious root beer. Have some right now. Oh, boy.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
But are you really okay?
Yeah. Drink it right now. I'll kill you.
All right. Oh, that's good. That's good. How are things going in the basement there where you make the root beer?
Yeah, we got a lot of root beer vats, and I have my helpers helping me. And sometimes your cat comes down and tries swimming in the root beer. I tell him, no, you don't do that, because that's my root beer. And if you get in there, I'll kill you. Oh, boy.
Don't threaten my cat. That's not cool. Rocky, don't go into the root beer vat. See, just simple. Why a cat likes to get wet with root beer, it's fascinating. And I guess that happens in the basement of Café Anyway is what we're saying. But have a great day, Brewmaster.
Yeah, you too. Oh, boy.
Well, okay, hopefully we
Wine.
Well, I like
we calmed that.
Whiny white man wine list.
So many things to whine about. How about that Emmy should include podcasts? Let podcasts compete in the Emmys. The Emmy Awards talk show category feels outdated because there are fewer traditional TV talk shows today. Popular video podcasts like New Heights with Travis and Jason Kelsey attract huge audiences. As you know, that's where Taylor Swift debuted news about her upcoming album. These shows are often featuring celebrity interviews and lively discussions, much like classic talk shows. They are like classic talk shows. And they're called podcasts, but it is basically doing a Johnny Carson. They sometimes have nice couches. They sometimes go for the old school lounge look. So the people known as Award Circuit, I don't know what Award Circuit is. That a website? Okay, let's just say it's a website. Award Circuit suggests that video podcasts should be eligible for Emmy recognition in the talk category. This change would better reflect what audiences watch and how media has evolved. That from the folks who email me over there at podcasttonight.com. I would suggest to them, however, don't call them podcasts then. Call them talk shows. They're really just talk shows. Podcasting is an audio thing. It came from the iPod. And people were broadcasting. They were doing recordings. Apple came up with a place for them to upload these recordings. So I guess now talk shows, podcast took the name talk show away from talk shows. It's a
What's the cliche of the week?
It's like a game. It's like a field game
Cliche of the week.
where you've got generations stealing words
Cliche of the week.
and names and concepts and handing them and taking them, making their own with it. But who knows? At some point, will they rename the Jimmy Kimmel Show into the Jimmy Kimmel Podcast? Jimmy Fallon, the same thing? Or will they just disappear like Stephen Colbert? I don't know. These are all questions.
What's the cliche of the week?
And maybe podcasts
What's the cliche of the week?
will just be the catch-all term.
What's the cliche of the week?
And any time anybody talks to anybody will be called a podcast from now on. If it's videoed, if it's just recorded with audio, or if it's filmed by drones, who knows? But hey, the cat's got to leave me, and he's running away. And that leaves me with just the phone number to say. Here we go. Here it is.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640. Will you shut ups? Liberty Nation Freedom Foam for All.
I'm William Sam, and Mike Matthews is trying to wrap up his show. So, Mike, it's time to say it.
It was an honor, Mr. President, to lose my multi-million-dollar fortune defending you. You're very welcome, Mike.
And with all things having to do with Mike's Daily Podcast, we go to the main frame and hear from A-Frame. Thank you for listening to this wonderful podcast where I guess I did kind of interview some people. They interviewed me. I asked people questions like, what's a cat doing in a root beer vat? That kind of thing. So yeah, all right, this does qualify as a podcast, I guess. And is worthy of an Emmy in my mind's eye. With all things having to do with my mind and other things, we go to the website and find out more about that. We talk to the mainframe as well as A-Frame. That sentence may or may not have been said the way I meant it to be said, but regardless, here we hear from the A-Frame. Thank you so much for listening.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye.